konnichiwa. Hello, my name is Mickey and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the new Makeup Revolution Beauty or Revolution. I honestly don't know what they're called because they have so many different tiers of makeup. I'm just going to call it Revolution Beauty. But today I'm going to be reviewing the Revolution Beauty Conceal and Hydrate Radiance Foundation. I am so excited about this foundation. I'm always excited about every foundation that I try, but I am particularly excited about this one because the word hydrate is written on this bottle, and if you guys know me, you know that I hate being matte, and so I'm really just curious to see if this is gonna work on dry skin. So a little disclaimer before we get into the video: if you are super sensitive to profanity or if you are easily offended, this is not the place for you. I am a no filter bitch and I have no idea what's gonna come out of my mouth, so keep that in mind while you're watching. If you guys are interested to see how the Revolution Beauty Conceal and Hydrate Radiance Foundation with hyaluronic acid works, then just stay tuned. Okay, so I have both foundations here, and just by looking at the packaging, you can automatically tell that one is bigger than the other. That is because there is a totally different packaging with the new one. I have swatched this foundation in store. They actually didn't even have the testers out, but I had to ask one of the employees, and she was super nice enough to put out a few shades for me to try, and she recommended F2, but because I review so many foundations and I just kind of have gotten to know like foundation shades, I decided to go with F1. Now in the Conceal and Define, which is a full coverage foundation, I did a review on this. If you guys want to check that out, I'll leave it in the eye up here. This one is a full coverage foundation, and this was more of a demi matte finish. Actually, let me just go ahead and tell you guys the differences between these two. First, I'm going to talk about the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. This is the first one that they came out with. My shade in this was F1 as well. The Conceal and Define retails for $12 and it has 0.8 fluid ounces. It comes in 50 shades. This is a full coverage foundation. It's oil free. It has a jumbo doe foot applicator. Now, a lot of people may not like these kind of applicators for like foundation. I personally like them because if you have a clean face, then you shouldn't be worrying about using the doe foot applicator unless you have like a really nasty face and you don't wash it before, you know, you apply skincare and foundations and all that, then you're just a nasty bitch and I can't help you with that. Now for the new foundation, I really like this packaging. I like both of the packagings because the tops are rose gold, and that's like my favorite type of gold color. The Conceal and Hydrate is almost the exact same concept as the Conceal and Define, except this one is a more hydrating foundation. This also retails for $12, same as the Conceal and Define. Now this one has 0.7 fluid ounces, this one has 0.8 fluid ounces, so it's 0.1 fluid ounce less, which really doesn't bother me because it's $12 freaking dollars. This also comes in 50 shades, which is obviously amazing as well. This one is infused with hyaluronic acid, and it says that it's beneficial for dry skin. That's me. Now it claims to have all-day radiance and glow without setting into fine lines or dry patches. So we're going to be testing that out today. Now this says that it is medium to full coverage, and we're going to see about that. The one thing that I do like about this is the new packaging, because look at this. They decided to add a pump, which I think is awesome because this caters to probably more than half of the beauty community or people who wear any type of foundations. They usually prefer a pump instead of a doe foot. Honestly, either or does not bother me at all. I'm going to go ahead and give this a good shake. Now I have already moisturized, prepped my skin, exfoliated, did all that goodness. I have been using the Murad Invisiblur Perfecting Shield Broad Spectrum SPF 30. I have bought this little travel size here because I wanted to try it out before I was gonna buy the full size. Y'all know the deal with me. I'm a cheap bitch and I'm not gonna buy something that I don't know doesn't work very well. This thing is a really weird consistency, but I love it because it fills in these gigantic pores and it has freaking sunscreen in it, so I'm living for it. I have my little pellets here and I'm just going to pump. Okay, there is one pump there, and it is definitely a more liquidy consistency than the Conceal and Define. I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 more pumps. There's a total of 3 pumps right there, and I'm just gonna go in with this. So I'm going to take my flat top kabuki brush. This is the BS Mall kabuki brush that I've been using throughout all my videos. You can get this on Amazon. I'll link everything that I use in the description box below so you guys can check it out. Now there's no like particular smell. Yeah, there's no smell to this foundation. It just smells like foundation like any other foundation. It doesn't smell like skincare or anything like that. For the shade match, I feel like this is a little bit more pale. I decided to get the F1 instead of the F2, which is still a little bit more pale, but because in the wintertime I get really freaking pale because I've gotten a little bit of sun this summer, I decided to stick with the F1 instead of the F2, which I still really like. I mean, I'm still pretty pale. I am really liking how this blends. It feels very nice. I don't feel like there's anything on my skin at all whatsoever. It's very light. This is like a very good high medium coverage foundation. It is covering a lot of the acne scarring that I had. This is brush application, which always gives more coverage than a sponge. So we're gonna find out here just what the coverage is with sponge application. One thing I'm noticing with this foundation is it's not streaky whenever I use the brush. Like some foundations, I don't know what it is, but when you're sitting there stippling, it doesn't matter if you stipple or drag or however you blend in your foundation with a brush, it leaves streaks. And I don't know what that's about because some foundations leave streaks, some foundations don't. And some foundations I have to go over with a sponge. Some foundations I can get away with not setting or not flattening it with a sponge at all. And this is one of those foundations that does not leave like any streak marks. One thing that I like about this is it has not clung to a single freaking dry patch on this face, and that is all your girl asked for. That's all I look for in a foundation, is that it's hydrating and that it doesn't cling to dry patches. I'm not against matte foundations as long as they don't cling to my dry patches. But I don't like matte because most of the time they do cling to dry patches, which is why I have a love-hate relationship with matte foundations. So now that I have the brush side done, I'm going to go ahead on this side with the Real Techniques sponge. So I'm going to go ahead. I don't know why I just did that. I'm obviously not paying attention today. I am just kind of in another world. I didn't really get great sleep last night. All right, let's try this again. This foundation did not come to play. This is just absolutely gorgeous. I'd say it's more medium coverage, not high medium coverage like the brush side, but even then, it still looks so beautiful on the skin, even with sponge application. It's not clinging to any of my dry patches, which I have a little bit of dryness on the sides of my nose, and it's not clinging to any of those. And that is just miraculous for me. Just like in every foundation review that I mention, you guys know that the chin area always creases for me, and I always get like weird cakey buildup around the nose. And right now we are so far so good with the nose area. Now I'm going to finish blending this out with the sponge, and then I'm going to take out my phone camera like I've been doing and show you guys a close-up of what the foundation looks like. I just have to say, I feel fucking flawless. This just looks so good on my forehead. It doesn't look super cakey around my nose. You can see that my pores are very tiny, very minimal. I do have a little bit of pores peeking through there, but it's nothing compared to the other foundations whenever I put them on my face. As you can see, it is very high medium coverage here on the brush side. Here is the sponge side. You can see I have a little bit of acne scarring and discoloration going on my chin area. It still is like creasing a little bit, but again, that happens with all foundations that I have. But so far, I am just loving the coverage of this, and I'm loving the finish because it doesn't look extremely matte, and I am just, I don't know, I'm really happy about this foundation. I have high hopes. So hopefully this wears great throughout the day. We shall see. So I'm going to call the check-in time. It is now 11:54. I'm just going to say it's 12 o'clock because it's so much easier for me to remember whenever I'm doing check-ins. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my face, and I will be right back. The time is now 12:36, so it took me about 30 minutes to do this look. Now I'm going to share with you guys what I have on my face. Now I went ahead and set my face in the cheek area and right here because that's where I put powder like bronzer and blush. So I went in with my Hard Candy Fast and Fabulous Translucent Loose Powder. This is one of the best setting powders that I have found, and it is drugstore. It is super affordable. Love this stuff. For my brows, I've been using a new pencil that I absolutely love. It is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and this is in the shade Espresso. I really, really love this stuff. It's almost, I would say, a dupe for the Anastasia Brow Wiz because this shit is pretty damn good, and I believe it's like $10. For my face, I went in with the Smashbox, the Cali Contour Palette. I use this matte bronze shade first, and then I went over it with the shimmer bronze on the sides of the face. Then I went in with the blush in this palette because I absolutely love it. It's so beautiful. It's very subtle on my skin. For my inner corner of my eyes and my highlights, I went in with the Anastasia Amrezy highlighter. For my eyes, I went in with none other than the Desi and Katie Friendcation palettes. When I reviewed this palette, I actually got the names mixed up because some palettes, when they put the names on, it's like when you're looking at the palette, and then other times it's when you flip the palette around, so the names were a little bit messed up. But I have learned, and now I actually know the names of all these colors, so I apologize for that. For my mascara, I have two types of mascara on because there's one that I really wanted to try because I have a lot of mascara that I need to try over there. So I decided to try this one today. I'm wearing the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. It is the first mascara I have ever tried that has given me long ass lashes like this. I just wish that it would hold a curl because you can't even really tell that my lashes are really long. Now, I didn't want to put this on the bottom because I found that when I put it on the top, it was a little bit more of a liquidy formula. I don't like that for my bottom. I also don't really like that for any mascara because I have hooded eyes. Sometimes if the mascara makes my lashes too long, it actually transfers up here to the hood of my eyes, and then I have like this black line all throughout the day, and it ain't cute. So I decided for my lower lash, I went with my tried and true CoverGirl Exhibitionist Mascara. Love this stuff. Oh, lips. So I outlined my lips with the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Pencil in Rush. This is one of my favorite colors. And for my actual lipstick, I went in with the Milani I Am Smart. This is the bold matte lipstick. So that is all the goodness that I have on my face. I will see you guys in a couple of hours to show you what is happening on this mug. All right, you guys, so the time is now 5:13. So I've been wearing this foundation for a little over 5 hours now, and I can honestly say I am really not happy about the porousness around my mouth here. Hopefully you guys can see because it's a little dark right now. But for some reason around my mouth area has been very, very porous looking. I'm creasing here a little bit under the nose. I'm also creasing on my chin. But like I've said before, the creasing on the chin is something that's just normal. It just happens. My forehead, on the other hand, looks pretty decent. It's a little oily looking, but I still have those two little creases up there because I'm always frowning. I'm surprised about the mascara because it hasn't really gotten onto the hoods of my eyes, which I am really liking. The only thing that's bothering me right now is just all these pores seeping through. I feel like it's almost like it's separating. I'm not really sure. It's almost like when you're painting walls that have little tiny holes, you don't know those holes are there until after you've painted and they just kind of pop up because all the air inside the bubble. And I feel like that's what's going on right here with my pores. So other than this area, like my mouth area, my nose still looks really decent. And the wear, I mean, are you guys seeing this foundation? Here's a little bit in the sun. Look at that banging highlights. This area here on both sides of my face has been wearing so beautifully, and I just really am into this foundation so far. I love the fact that it hasn't clung to any of my dryness, and I just think it looks absolutely gorgeous, especially 5 hours in. I'd say that right now this definitely has my stamp of approval. So it is now 8:23. So I have been wearing this for about 8.5 hours, and I'm just ready to take it off. Oh, I have some popcorn on the face. As I mentioned before, I'm one of those people that whenever I come home, I just want to take my makeup off. But for you guys, I left it on as long as possible. And all I gotta say is I love this foundation, especially the fact that my skin is very dry, and I noticed that it didn't cling to any dry patches. That to me is amazing. That's the one thing that I look for in most foundations. Second is how long is it going to last, and is it going to kick up into, you know, my nose area, my forehead area. Now this did crease a lot here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I have kind of an indent on the side of my face. because I fell asleep on something, and even then it didn't take off any of my makeup. So that I am really happy about. That means even though I was napping, nothing rubbed off my face. Now I think the one thing that you can really notice is my forehead here. It looks like there's lines going across like that, and I think it's because I may have scratched the middle of my forehead with my nail, kind of like this. As you can see, my face looks extremely oily. So I do love this foundation, but it is something that you're going to have to take a powder with you to reset throughout the day. I'm just going to try this real quick with some powder. I'm going to try to see if this actually kind of fixes the whole dewy slash, you know, oily look. And it looks like it looks really good if you just take a compact with you and just set it throughout the day on the areas that you're oily. I honestly can't say enough good things about this. I mean, it's $12. It comes in absolutely beautiful packaging. It's very affordable. It's great for dry skin. So all my dry skin girls out there, you may want to go and pick this up at Ulta. This one might actually be my new winter, my fall winter go-to, because not only is it hydrating and there's hyaluronic acid in it, but again, those seasons come around and I get so freaking dry. But if my foundation has hyaluronic acid in it and I take care of my face by moisturizing and putting on serums and doing all the good skincare, then my skin, I feel, will last throughout the fall and winter by not being a dry, crusty mess like it usually is. This foundation is definitely something that I'm going to have to try with different products, see what it works with the best. But so far, I absolutely love this foundation. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks beautiful. And there's not really much else I can say about this. Alrighty, you guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to click that big red button that says subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you actually know when I post my videos. And as always, if you have any tips, tricks, questions, comments, or if you simply want to talk shit, leave it on in the comment section below, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye!